which
Nice.
I got back to diamond after the rank reset. So even though it's
That's
the
awesome.
same, I feel like it's
Oh, it's definitely
because
better.
of the rank reset, it's better. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely better.
So,
Yeah. Well done. Well done. Nice job. How's practice been overall, ignoring the rank?
um, good. I just basically do deathmatch for like, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes maximum, and then just kind of jump into a game. I have been doing some codes, just practicing strafe aim because I feel like it's actually really good with Genji. I kind of learned about it from watching other people. And with deflect, if you just like just mirror them, they just kill themselves. So,
Yeah. 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 Of course.
um,
Of course.
like if you get really close, and I've been trying to just do that better, because just shotgun hero placing the shots a little bit better. You just kind of burst them if you're in the right
Okay.
position. So
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
pretty much it.
All right.
So,
So no real
yep.
questions. Just want to take a look.
Yeah, no, I kind of know some of what my issues are. I've been fixing them a little bit. I had a coaching with Harmless Poke. You know that
Nice.
guy a
Yeah,
little
he's great.
bit, but yeah. So I just had one with him like a couple weeks ago. So been improving, kind of playing in more flexible positions, not just because last time you coached me, it was like you need to get in shotgun angle. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna run at them till I get to a shotgun angle, and it worked until I got to like high plat, and then it's like, all right, now they're actually gonna shoot you. So
Right, right. Exactly,
yeah.
exactly.
But
So, what have you been working on? More, you said more of like just adjusting positioning and choosing the best positions that you can.
yeah, playing a little bit more flexible positions and always like just realizing that you can't always close the distance 100%. Like you're not always going to be able to get drop on their head, triple
Right.
burst, just burst them down. Like sometimes you have to. I think I was cheating a lot. Like the concept
Mm.
of just kind of like, I don't care that the tracer's there. I'm just gonna kind of, and then they turn around, or I don't really care that the monkey is jumping my team. Like I'm just gonna kind of ignore that,
Yeah,
do my
yeah.
thing.
That
But
makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, well, good, well, good, good. Any particular why you chose this particular code?
Um, there's moments of greatness. I think this round's really good, and then there's some moments where I'm like, not necessarily lost, but I realize my team is in, but I'm just it's kind of hard for me to figure out. All right, well, what do I do here at this moment?
Got it.
Because I know I'm not doing much, but I don't want to just dash in and feed.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah,
So it's basically finding the situations when you almost feel like you have to cheat. Okay, then
yeah,
what
yeah,
is the
somewhat.
solution? What is the solution to the problem then? Okay, let's take a look then. If you have any questions, you know the routine. Just let me know and we
Yep.
can take a look. So one of the things with cheating and shotgun angles and all that is, the optimal thing is that you want to drop on their head and shoot them at point blank range.
Yeah.
Question though is how do you get set up to those positions without cheating? And the other question sometimes is there an angle that you can take where you can poke and still do reasonable damage without getting poked out? Like if you look at their
Yeah.
composition, you look at like Cassidy, even a Sombra. Not something I want to poke out at
No.
a longer range, of course, or mid range necessarily.
Yeah.
But a Junker Queen Warrior Lucio, I feel a lot more confident taking, like, let's say an angle like this here and just passively throwing shurikens here, right? Why? Because we talk about shotgun angles. Genji's one of those shotgun characters, but he does have some range, especially when compared to characters like Moira and Light Lucio and Junkrat or Junker Queen, and actually coincidentally, yeah, Junkrat too, actually. So yeah, shotgun angles for sure, but it doesn't have to be a shotgun angle versus the entire cast. It could be just
Right.
certain characters that outpoke you. So that being said,
Yeah.
this is good.
I've also noticed I want to be close enough to where I can get into a shotgun angle, but I don't have to be like constantly on top of their head.
Yeah, that's a great way
The
of
threat
describing it.
is okay. And I was noticing I'm just pathing just right to them the whole time. Like I don't have to do it all the time. You can sit there and make them think about you,
Yes,
right?
exactly, exactly.
Which I think I kind of do here. I'm kind of doing that here a little bit.
I agree. Yeah, it's like
Like
the
I'm not trying to
opportunity to
bang,
deepen if you
but
want to, right?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No real
This time
critiques
I'm
here.
not cheating.
Yeah, exactly. You're on the angle. You're marking that Sombra, and you're also preventing them like through that marking from if that Sombra wanted to take that off angle, she has to go through you first.
Yeah. Sometimes setting up on this one feels a little rough, but I usually play here and just kind of when they walk through, play on that pillar or jump over the wall. either
Yeah,
one.
it's good, especially if they lean like here. But as they rotate this way, you might start to have problems with like the Cassidy and so on, right? Just because all of a sudden, like your range is like now we talk about like the option of shotgun angle doesn't feel like quite as optional here.
No.
Like it feels like you kind of have to, like, I mean, you do it, right? You do walk to this pillar here, but it doesn't feel as good. What you might want to consider is starting here, and then if you see them rotating on main, how could you adjust your rotation on this map here? Where could you go?
From here? I mean, trailing is like okay.
Sure.
I could go around kind of behind where that other health pack is, mega health pack.
Like over
Like
here?
on the left side.
Yeah, you could trail here.
Or even behind that one.
Yeah, what you could do is you could start to kind of angle here and then look to flip sides and then look to flip this way. It's kind of uncomfortable to do that, but it's something to consider. But yeah, this is mostly fine. Like you said, mostly okay to trail.
You can just pick up anything.
Yep.
This is hilarious. Watch this. No, I thought that health pack was good, but
yeah.
So. This round feels mostly good. I thought.
Yeah, you're not under a ton of pressure. That was a good little dash melee there. That was good. And now we really have the poke opportunity on tank, right? Not something that they should always be pursuing if there's a shotgun angle available, but obviously Sojourn's still a problem. Cassidy, same thing, right? But like, without Junker Queen was easy to poke out, right? Winston's even easier. So this is where we could go back to this angle here and just shoot the monkey, or do what you're doing here and just poke the monkey, as long as you're not peeking that long angle, right? Good. And again, it's not cheating, right? And now you could be like, do I want to lag this way? Do I want to go this way?
Yeah, I think I peek it real quick. I'm not sure. Yeah, I try it.
Yeah, I think where you're at is fine. No fade. She's dead. Again, just being here, right?
Right.
If that goes poorly, you just dash away. Okay, I mean, this is, like you said, pretty one-sided.
I don't even know if I get the blade. I think I just pull it out.
Yeah, it's good. Nice, no complaints, good staging. Yeah, I mean, you could definitely see the progress from our last review, right? Like, if nothing else, that round was good at seeing it. Like, when things go nicely, you at least set yourself up for success with where you're taking your angles and giving yourself options. And that's not even a very easy comp to play Genji into, because there's a lot of characters that can survive your shotgun angles, so it becomes more of like a cooldown force game. And this is, okay, this is a really good one. So you look at this right here. Okay, you got everybody and their mother here has a tool for preventing you from diving. So this is going to be the perfect marriage of you need to be there. You can't dash there, okay?
Right.
And taking a poke angle versus a Brig, a Moira, a Queen, and Bastion is a legitimate strategy if you don't get the shotgun angle you want. Even Sombra is really like, there are a lot worse characters to poke out. So this here. Oh, nice, you got her. This is fine. Now they're mostly swapping, and by the way, one of the nice things about this is like, you know, the more counters that they go, the harder it is. Until they start countering one of your teammates, then it actually gets easier. That's the irony.
Yeah.
It's because if what happens is if they hard counter pick your monkey, they will also hard counter pick you, kind of, sort of. But the problem is they can't focus on both of you. And so because they're counter picking your monkey, if, like, let's say the monkey jumps in, you will murder that backline if they're all focusing monkey, and vice versa, right? Like, that's the weird thing. That's the weird thing. If you guys would like stack, like, what else counters this counter? Like Tracer. This is a Tracer counter comp, right? Imagine a Tracer instead of a Cassie versus this, right? Like, it would just be actually like the freest thing in the history of the universe, right? So it's only a counter if there's only one of you, right? So
yeah.
Get her. I think I dash after that. You could trail her. She's low. She's wasted her virus. There's like, it's actually criminal that you let her get away right there. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, actually criminal.
Okay.
Sombra is really bad versus Genji if you start on top of her with dash. There's really nothing that she can do because she can't get away from you. Because she can throw it in the air, she can throw it to the side, she can throw it on the high ground. You can chase her everywhere that she goes. As somebody who's played a lot of Sombra, like, Genji's great if I can get the hack and virus off, but if I don't, I'm dead. So just keep that in mind. It's the same thing of like playing versus a Tracer or something, right? It's like super high risk, high reward matchup. Good. Yeah, no complaints here. I think your general starting angle was pretty reasonable. I think you recognized pretty quickly like the Queen Bastion, just sit on that choke and spam. You marked point. The only thing there is you just need to chase the Sombra.
Stream's a little stuttery. I don't know if you can dip the quality a little bit.
Yeah, it might just be the bit rate's going a little crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, let me know if it continues to be an issue for a few more minutes, all right? Now, here's what's happened. I think maybe it's the Bastion and whatever the Sombra, is you've gotten a little, for lack of a better term, you got a little lazy right here.
Yeah, I noticed. Yeah.
It's where it's like, oh, I'm just going to kind of sit here and shoot, but like, you know there's a better position available. Where should you be?
I do like to play on the right side where the other health pack is. Yeah, like right here.
You could hover through here and just wait and listen. And then just, I mean, this is insane. And the other thing too is that this one is actually pretty decent too. Depending on how distracted they are, you could do that as well. Or heck, you could even sit there. But yeah, don't get lazy with this, right? Like, I think that's the one danger is when you have comps that you outpoke, is that you still, like you said, you want the option of shotgun angling if you can, right?
Yeah.
We can threaten the assassination and at least force cooldowns. And what's happened is you've realized that like, oh, I can throw some shurikens, still get value. And like you even thought about it there and it's like, you needed to be here, right? Like this is the problem, right? This is what we talked about, right? Your Winston goes in, but one counter, and now like you've screwed your Winston over. You see this? Like this Sombra should be dead. This Sombra, you guys got to work together on that. And like while this is like fine, like this is fine. Like this is not even bad damage. Like you're out poking the Junker Queen, you're on an angle, you got the Bastion. This is great. It's just it's another commit that you're just not set up for.
Yeah.
Right? So you have to decide.
Yeah, I felt it on this one.
I think the decision is that, like, if there wasn't an angle available, this is totally fine. Right? Totally fine. Especially versus their comp. But there is an angle available. And so then now, because of your misread, you guys have used 2 ultimates, and you're not even in a position to do anything. You had to use a dash to get in, essentially. Okay. Like even here, right? It's just a little lazy, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like if I was on top of that catwalk just shooting.
Totally different story, right? Sombra, Reaper, everybody's dead. The challenge versus the Sombra and the Reaper and like a lot of these like anti-dive compositions, Bastion, whatever, is to force their cooldown with your positioning.
Yeah.
If you force their cooldown with your positioning... Okay, I gotta see. Let's see how far we go. How far do we go?
Yeah.
Dang. But yeah, it's to be in the spot where you could force that turret just by being on an angle. That way you don't have to, because you don't want to use your dash to close the distance, because then you're dead, right? So, okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Reapers, same thing. Nothing's changed. That's a little unfortunate. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he just explodes. So.
Yeah, I mean, BAP window EMP is like...
Yeah.
It's like, what are you going to do versus that? I like this. It might be a little early, but I do like it. This is where think a little bit creatively here. So like, let's say you have time to set up, which you do, right? Where would you go? How would you approach this? By the way, what you did was fine. It just wasn't perfect. I want you to be perfect.
Yeah. Here. I mean, going far left on the little steps, climbing up, walking.
Yep.
Around there, kind of scoping out the hole.
Sure. So let's say that you didn't have that angle available to you. Let's say you're playing a map where you actually just have to dash on an angle. Okay, then what do you do differently here psychologically?
Not positionally, are you,
Well, a
when you
little
say
bit of both, right? Like,
psychologically?
let's say, like, how do you approach this? Like, you've had to use a dash to set up an angle. Now what? How do you approach this?
Oh, well, I guess since I have my dash, I probably want to play a little bit more behind cover. I'm kind of just walking in. They have a sombra,
Right,
so I don't.
right.
She
That right.
could just be here.
I would say just assume the worst is the way that you need to
Yeah.
do things. Like you know how ranked players are, right? They're morons. They're like dribbling morons, right? So they see Winston or Genji go in, Oga, Aboga. They're just gonna
Yeah.
chase you, right? And if you can live, you automatically win the fight because you've just let your team walk through the choke for free. The problem is that you may not live here. You need to expect them to do something stupid. Expect them. Like you said, go behind cover, get over here, run for your life and get into here, right? Like just expect them to do something stupid and then laugh at their hubris, right? Right, like check this out. You ever seen that before? I haven't seen
I
that.
have.
Okay.
Back
Anyway,
in the day, man. One of those
But-
old like Overwatch Did You Know videos.
well, there you go. So yeah,
do
like
live,
you,
but-
you do live, and so your team does get value out of it. In fact, your Winston actually jumps in and doesn't die immediately. So nice job. But it's fortunate, right? It's fortunate.
Yeah.
Now, the good news is that you did make the right call in terms of the strategy. So you are now ready to go, in theory.
But I kind of don't.
Right.
I'm kind of low. I don't know.
Well,
Just felt
it's
really
because
scared
you were basically permanently low because, like, even though you didn't get punished for it in terms of dying, you still continued to, like, take damage and demand attention. And so you never really stabilized to the point of being able to actually take action. So, so maybe you were punished for it. Just not in the traditional sense.
Yeah. Yes, it's better. I think it's better if you don't have to use a cooldown to take. This sucks, but if you don't have to use a cooldown, you have time. Just
Yeah, and okay, so I'm going to ask you again. Where do you need to be? Your Winston
probably
created
just
space for
up
you.
above.
Up above. Your Winston literally did what you did. He created the space for you. So then now use the space. Sit here, walk, and oh my days, it's over 3K blade. Right? I'm exaggerating. I don't know if you get it. But like, at least you're in a position to actually do something.
Yeah, they're so far away, and I get hacked. Ugh.
It's just totally blind, right? It's totally blind. You have no scouting, no information, no nothing. And again, like you need to be. It feels like you've gotten just a little bit lazy with your setup. It feels like you've just gotten a little bit lazy with your setup. And then that should be it there. Yeah, there's no way you win that fight, sadly. Okay, so how would you approach this? Because it feels odd. Like this review is odd, frankly. I don't know exactly how would you package this into something that you can actually remember. How would you do this?
I mean, even if it's you can get value by just sitting main. It's still better to take an angle. Just always be on an angle close enough to where you can get into your optimal range.
It feels honestly as much of the composition as it is the map for you. It feels like this whole like anti-dive comp. I don't think it's necessary. Part of it's like it scared you, but I think part of it's also it's like it's felt like it's giving you a good excuse to be less intense with how you're setting up. Because it's like, oh, I could just shoot Junker Queen, or I can just shoot Bastion, or I can just poke out Reaper. But yeah, but where do you want to poke out the Reaper? Right? Where do you want to poke out the Bastion?
Because I can still do that, but also be beside them. Or behind them.
Sure.
In a position where I can jump on them.
If there isn't a shotgun angle, okay, like you said, okay, fine, poke them out. That's fine. Shoot it, stand at the choke. But they do everything that you do, or at least aim to do everything that you do with intention as much as you possibly can. Because I think otherwise you start to lose opportunities that that are there that you're not seeing because you're not looking for them. Like right now, like let's be honest, right? This is rough. Okay, this is rough. Like it is hard to get a good shotgun angle here, so you're gonna have to be creative here. Okay, so then if you're gonna poke from main, where's the best angle to poke from? With what information?
I'm gonna poke from main.
Sure. Actually. You know what? Let's not say poke from main. If you're gonna poke
at all,
just period. Where?
Yeah.
Where would you go?
Well, this is okay because I have a decent amount of cover. I have a couple of escape routes. I can just go directly back. I can
bit of an off angle too, right? You got core here, or like you got a Cassidy here, and then you're poking from here, so it's like a bit of a crossfire. Yeah, I agree with that. Go ahead.
I can also do the whole wall climb thing around the left side, like out here, and I can just appear right there.
Yep. Give me another option, and that's maybe not necessarily poke, but that provides an option for a shotgun angle or maybe a flank.
Well, I actually kind of like playing in the corner on the point there because I can just wall climb
Like
where the
here?
queen is. Yeah, like right there.
Yeah, yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
I can
yeah.
wall climb up and then be on top of their head, and
Yeah.
I do it a couple
And,
times this game.
and
So
this would be where you would like throw shurikens this way if you need to, like poke this way, but then deepen if you need to this way. Heck, you could
right.
even poke from here, throw shurikens from here, and then mark this, and then go, okay, this lane is clear now. I'm actually going to wrap around behind too. Again,
yeah,
it's just,
because they have
it's just
access to point and
yes,
backline.
exactly, exactly. So it's just, again, just do everything you do with intention here. It's fine. He's closer, right? He's closer.
Yep.
So it's a no-brainer.
Also, just like clearing flankers when I can.
Yeah, 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 yeah. As long as they're closer, it's fine. Yeah, this is good. See, this is good. This is good. This is Genji, right? This is Genji. You can't help your Winston, but what you can't help is the bat and the queen and holding the shotgun angle, and not even necessarily hitting any crazy shurikens, but just control it. Like that BAP wanted, man. He wanted it so bad, and I was just like, oh frick, you know, he's totally out of the fight, and that's your fault, right? And you're still here too.
Both cooldowns. Yeah.
Perfect, perfect. You see it? You see it? Your position just saved your life. Because even if they use hack on you and whatever, you're not gonna die. What are they gonna do about that?
Yeah.
Look at all that attention totally wasted. And you could even get cute with it, which you can't. Well, okay. Read my mind. What else could you do from this position? Where else can you go?
Climb up to where the health pack is.
Yeah, you got a
Where the
little.
Mora
You could
is.
hit it over and over and over again, and then do something sneaky. Just try it once. You know, see what you can get from here. Right? Yeah, exactly. It's you could mix it up, right?
Yeah, they want to push, but they just.
Yeah, like you're gatekeeping them. Every action is agony for them.
Some of these dashes I feel are a little preemptive. Like I didn't need to dash that, but
Well, yes and no. It was okay if what I would have said is I would have preferred a dash at the feet here. So that you're a little far away from the Moira to where like you're not going to be hitting any triple shurikens, right? So then if you had dashed here, then you're hitting triple shurikens, right? So I don't mind the dash. It's just a calculated investment. It just isn't executed very well. So like look at where you dash. And so if you turn and shuriken here, you're still not hitting 3 shurikens. Right?
yeah.
So it's the dash is like fine. Just make sure that like whenever you're dashing in a situation to close the distance, you're putting yourself in triple shuriken range. That's a good general rule.
Yeah.
And that's also something you can practice in deathmatch. Dash
Yeah, that's something I try to practice, but I always forget it because I'm trying to be fast because I'm like, oh, they're gonna get healed.
Right. But it's just a simple crosshair movement, right? It's from here
Yeah.
to here. Just aiming your dash like half an inch. And to be honest with you, I'm really bad at it as well. Like that's something that I've just never really practiced, but I know it's like one of my bad habits whenever I play Genjis. Like
Yeah.
I've never really practiced the foot dash, right? And that's actually so important to get.
Yeah, because your DPS just goes super high if you do it.
Right, exactly. Like especially like with dash now, because dash is still 50 damage, right? It's still 50 damage. It's not that much damage, right? Everyone's got higher health pools, so it is all about those shurikens. Again, no complaints here. This is how you play versus anti-dive. You abuse your mobility to just take better positions and force cooldowns just by existing. Thanks, Life Reaver. Little awkward mechanically, but it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, that just really comes down to just, it was a little, that should have been a kill there, right? That's all. Now, bad news is retaking is not fun on this map.
No.
So the best thing that I can offer to you as terms of advice, well, let's see what you can think of. Actually, you go first. How would you approach this? What's a good general approach here?
I actually like taking the side doors.
Yep.
They turn around a lot when you do that, and my team just kind of walks through a lot.
Yep.
And I have pretty good options to escape. I mean, I can dash to a couple different health packs.
Yep.
It's
Exactly.
short range most of the time because
Yep.
they're going to just turn around and be right there. So
Yep.
those are
Agreed.
generally good when they're holding the main room.
Agreed. I think anytime there's a choke, even just like the last round, right? Retaking on village. causing some form of chaos is really a good service to your team if you can live it. Remember when we were asking, like, okay, you had to use your dash to take the angle there. It's fine. Just live. Same thing here. Like, as long as you can take the angle here and live, then we're cooking. You're going to create a lot of noise. But you can see the laziness here, right? It's just like, just gonna, like you needed to be thinking. Yeah. Right. You needed to be thinking. And so what ends up happening now is now you're late. You see it?
Yeah.
Like, you could be here preventing any sort of follow-up from the enemy team and really like allowing your team to walk through the choke for free, right? So that they can actually follow up on the Cassidy. Problem is here is that now you're late. And so there's more punish on the Cassidy than there should have been.
Yeah.
And this is all fine here. Like, I have no problems with what you're doing now. Good. But you know what? I will say this. Unironically, better late than never. Even if better late than never isn't true in terms of winning the fight, better late than never means that you at least had the right mindset and will likely learn from that lesson moving forward.
Yeah.
Right? You might still lose this fight, right? There's a chance, right? But at least next time you push this choke, you're gonna go, oh, let's do this the first time. You know, let's not waste time.
This one was a little dicey, but
yeah, if you have your deflect and you know where Sombra is, I think you're okay because you won't get hacked here. So you should be able to disengage out. Yeah, it's a little dicey, but it's all right.
Nice. So.
It's dicey just because it was a little far from cover when you did dash.
Yeah.
But it did get you close, so you did hit your shurikens and you did have your deflect. So no complaints still. I mean, no complaints.
Yeah.
You held the short off angle. They used EMP, Coalescence, and Death Blossom. And then you didn't die. And you're still staged here. Like, if you see an opportunity, yeah, you can still win this. Actually, like, what a sick deflect. That was such a sick deflect. You got so much value out of it. Yeah. This is actually okay. Like, let's take a look here. I want you to coach yourself on the details here. First thing, are you still on a shotgun? Did you like maintain? I won't even say shotgun angle anymore. Okay, like I think you've evolved to like level 2 position here. Are you in a good position? Just holistically. Yeah. You have options. Here.
I'm doing the clock thing. Like I'm not in the middle of the team.
Yeah.
I can pick my target.
This feels good. You use that position to secure a kill. You blade to finish it. Wasn't sure that you're going to get the Lucio, so obviously a little bit unfortunate timing there. Because if you knew that you're going to get the kill on the Lucio, instead you can use the stash to go up and then blade. But whatever. Yeah. Okay, so then let's coach the micro here.
Yeah. So this dash is okay. Probably deflect maybe a little earlier, actually.
Yep.
Instead of that second swing.
Agreed. Deflect earlier just to catch the carnage, right? Catch the carnage, then you're totally fine here. Yeah, 100%. Okay.
Yeah, I've been trying to use deflect more in Blade because it's just people are just going to shoot you. So.
Well, it's the indirect value. Excuse me.
Yeah.
You pop Blade, everybody looks at you. That's just the nature of the game. But yeah, well timed, well set up, great patience. And you could just feel the value of map control. Like, you look at their comp and you're like, oh, this is like the hardest Winston counter, and Genji counter, crap, Bastion, Reaper, Sombra, Moira, Brigitte, Junker Queen. But it just hasn't worked because you and your monkey have done actually a pretty darn good job of controlling space and really patiently forcing cooldowns. So, again, obviously there are a lot of details here that need to be cleaned up in your end. But I'm telling you, man, this is a huge improvement from our last review. That large portion of that improvement, 99% is you. Like, you deserve credit for that. Like, I introduced some concepts here, but like there are so many Genji players out there that'll watch my videos, but they don't take the time and have the discipline to apply it, and you did. And this is what you get as a result, right?
Yeah,
like
I can't stand the Genji mains Reddit, honestly. So everybody just complains.
Every subreddit just complains, really, But yeah, it's rough. It's rough. Now, I will say this though. This comp has not really allowed you to be like super like one shot, get in there, neck roast, pop it in, right? Like you've had to be a lot more cerebral about it. And that is a fair criticism, right? That is a fair criticism of the adjustments that you have to make, but you're passing the skill check. Let's put it that way. So can we complain about design? Yes. I think this is dumb, but it's not impossible to climb, and you're proving that, right?
Yeah. This part, I remember the monkey going in. I was like, no, why? You don't have bubble.
Well, again, you don't have bubble, for sure. What did he see? Oh, he saw Lucio. He saw Lucio. He saw Lucio, and then Reaper's there. But yeah, I agree. It's bad without bubble. But I will say, in the meantime, getting lazy again. Because you look at this and you're like, this doesn't feel quite right. Something's wrong. I can feel it, right? It's okay. So what are your solutions, right? Again, there's never just one. There's always a few.
Yeah. Well, from here, I can just wall climb up a little, I don't even know what that place is. The little shrine area? I don't know.
In here? Yeah. What is that? I wonder. Yeah, like a little shrine area. Yeah, shotgun angle back here, right? And you're like, well, it's a Reaper Sombra Moira. Yeah, but if you can get it for free, you might as well, right? Like, you could literally just wall climb for free and like roll the dice. You know, if you don't get the kill, well, you're fine, right? Give me another option.
Well, I could have just rolled out there to begin with, but
you could have.
I mean, playing the corner again is pretty decent.
Go walk to the corner, just shoot the monkey. Like it's risky, but like you're gonna do a lot of damage, and you can still disengage. It's immediate value too. Right? There's options here. Yeah. I mean, if you'd had time to set up here as well, you could have also like held the angle here and poked from here. I think you're a little late for that, but that would have been an option too, where you hold the angle and shoot tank. And that's by the way, that's often what a lot of these shotgun angles are gonna end up being. Are angles where you could poke tank and then still threaten assassination on the back line.
Yeah.
It's like a 6 foot tall guy putting his hand on the forehead of like the 4 foot tall kid, you know? So, he's like swinging and swinging, but he can't reach him. And then with his other hand, like using a sword and fighting somebody else, right? You're controlling two angles at the same time. Like you could choose to go here or you could just poke tank. Like you get to choose. That's when you have like a pretty darn good positioning. But here it's like you're not really on an angle. You're not really poking tank. You don't have any option to really go for anybody at all. And so, yeah, you really do need to back out. Like, you could have punished Moira without Fade there, but I think you would have died for it, right? So it's like, there's no real upside to what you did here. And then now, like, better late than never. It has to be now. Yeah. It has to be now. I don't care if it's sneaking around the higher risk play here and trying to sneak around here. I don't care if it's at least setting up just in case here. It has to be now. You... Don't stop. Because I get what you're trying to do in terms of like making noise there, but like, man, like that could have been set up so much better. Good. And then now it's just all mechanics. Find a target that you can kill and lock it down. Good. Really good. Good. Where is she? 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 Yeah. Yeah, this is it. Right? Surely? Okay, got a little scared there for a second, I'm not gonna lie. I saw your teammates dropped a little low. Okay, let's take some notes. What needs to be improved? I don't want to revisit old ground necessarily, but maybe there's some new points or some ways of looking at it. What do you think?
I think just when there's downtime, just set up. Like, I'm spending time even on that last fight, right? Like, oh, there's a couple people I could shoot. Maybe I hit some headshots, but it's better to just go find the angle. Or go take an angle.
By the way, I know we're not trying to like layer on the compliments here, but I also want to emphasize like the importance of like where you climb from gold to diamond. That is a significant jump, especially with current diamond right now. Like, let's put it this way. That's a kind of like being of like an average player to being like a top 7 or 8% player. That's a huge improvement. So, I mean, it definitely a significant improvement. And that mostly came from your positioning. I think mechanically, frankly, I think your mechanics were like fine, but I would say they're going to need to continue to improve. I would never go into that VOD and be like, oh yeah, that's definitely a Masters Genji. Like, no, not at all. Not at all. So what I would recommend is with mechanics, Go into deathmatch with small goals like foot dash, 180s, right click versus left click, decision making, jumping over people's heads, etc.
That's a fun one.
Yeah, there's like all sorts of little details that you can kind of throw into your game and just grind out a little bit, and then just bring them into the rank experience. I think it could be useful. Okay, anything else here? Strategic, whatever.
I think I don't. It's hard to make a rule about, well, you always just swing deflect versus two swings. Like I got hit by that carnage on that one blade.
Yeah, deflect, use, and blade. Be calm. Pay attention to targets. I think this might be where, like, you could go into the blade and be like, might mess up the timing or whatever, but I'm gonna make my deflect with this blade like so clean, right? Mm-hmm. And that's, by the way, another thing that you can practice in deathmatch. You dash this, what's the response going to be? Mm-hmm. Right? Like, what's the response going to be? Like, trying to predict that and trying to play around that. Like, it's one of the problems with like practicing that specific mechanic, as you can probably see, is that it is such a infrequent practicable topic. Because even like blade mechanics is something that's a little bit more like, that's always applicable and easier to practice. But like the specific blade mechanic is hard to grind because it doesn't happen very often. But that might be something you could work on.
Yeah. Well, a lot of it is just kind of thinking about what they're going to do beforehand.
Yeah, exactly.
Anticipation.
Exactly. And it's anticipation, and then I think also looking for visual cues as well. One of the things I worked on a lot when I was practicing, what was it? I think it was it was the Doomfist stuff. Was when I was just playing Doomfist for fun several months ago, is I started actually like watching Cassidy's with Hender, right? Like watching Anna's with Sleep Dart, and like watching that,
what
like
not just do.
Yeah, like not just looking at their hitbox, but like looking, here comes the Sleep Dart. Like I'm looking for it, I'm ready for it, right? Mm-hmm. And like it's hard to practice that, but it is very important to practice if you can.
I've gotten good against Sleep Dart. I've gotten pretty good against that one. I can almost just like pause, deflect. All right, now I kill you.
Right, exactly.
It feels almost like clockwork with them, but
exactly.
Anna's like the one you go for a lot. So
exactly. Okay. Any questions?
As far as mechanics, do you think there's one that's at least more applicable to how I've been playing, or more applicable to like the next phase of play? Like, what mechanically should I really kind of drill on, you think?
I just think generally moving and like cleaning up like your ability to hit shurikens in close range and your dashes, like it's just broadly your mechanics needed to work.
Okay.
Which isn't what I would do, is just be able to take one of the things that's worth putting attention into, which is pretty much anything, and then just practicing it. Yeah. So the good news is that, or the bad news is that there's not like a really clear line of path of that. The good news is that means that it's really easy. You don't really need to focus on it. You just focus on any one thing, and it's going to be worth your time.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not like, oh, I'm going to work on my dashes. Oh, no, it's going to be a waste of time because my dashes were fine. No, sure. You could use practice in your dashes. You could use practice on left click versus right click and your wall climb, everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, wall climb sometimes fails me. Oh,
yeah, it fails a little bit of everybody. So, okay. Any other questions? That was a good one.
No, I don't think so.
All right, man.